NFLQ 2025, as you know, is a part of NISM's and SEBI's advocacy efforts towards driving financial literacy among young learners. This initiative is primarily aimed at undergraduate as well as postgraduate students and is designed to spread awareness about financial markets. This is the sixth and the last regional round of the National Financial Literacy Quiz 2025. So we began our journey with the Eastern round, followed by South, North, Central, Northeast, and today we are in the West, completing our regional round journey for NFLQ 2025. This would culminate into the grand finale at the NISM campus in Mumbai. And this year, NFLQ has truly become pan-India. So we had students from different states, cultures, and institutions, but our common goal was financial awareness. So thank you very much to all the students and to all the faculty mentors who've been driving the participation of the students so enthusiastically. Thank you so much. Today morning, we had 50 postgraduate colleges coming here for the quiz. And we had representation from the Western region, from Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, and Rajasthan, the 4 regions. And this has been a fantabulous participation. 100 students appeared for the quiz in the morning. And such enthusiasm clearly shows that the interest in financial literacy is growing. With this, we are deeply honored to have with us our thought leaders in capital market to grace this occasion. From NISM, we have our director, Mr. Sarkhej-Krishnan, who's the highest authority at NISM, a well-known thought leader in the financial market space. So it's the capital market, insurance, and pension industry. He's been all over. He's been heading various institutes and companies as CEO also. Under his leadership, NFLQ has traveled across the length and the breadth of the country, giving students a platform to showcase their talents. And his presence today, in fact, in all the regions he's been traveling with us, it reflects how important students are in carrying the message of financial literacy forward. Along with sir, we also have a senior official from SEBI, Mr. Deepak Trivedi. He's the CGM as well as the Chief Financial Officer of SEBI. He had earlier been with us at NISM also. And in his stint at NISM, he was also very closely associated with the NFLQ initiative. And I had done a lot of work in driving this initiative to the students. So students are very dear to him also as a fraternity. He's been encouraging them. So now with this, I would like to also invite our director, Mr. Sarkhej-Krishnan, Mr. Deepak Trivedi from SEBI. We will have one faculty member, Dr. Puneet Saurabh, and also one student and one faculty for the lamp lighting. Please, can you come up on stage? This is just to have an inclusive lamp lighting for like representation from all our stakeholders. So we can have Dr. Pooja Grover, Dr. Smriti Dikshit, Dipali Rajwani as a student representative. Please invite upon on the stage Mr. Deepak Trivedi, the Chief Financial Officer of SEBI, to please come up on stage for the inaugural address.
Respected Sarkhej-Krishnan, Director NISM, faculty member of the college, my colleagues from SEBI and NISM. It's like home, coming back home, because I was with NISM till last 31st July, and just recently I moved back to SEBI. The thought of financial literacy awareness has been in the mind of SEBI from the day when SEBI was initiated. Earlier, SEBI had three mandates: develop the market, create awareness, regulate the market. But it took a very long period for SEBI to ensure that the financial literacy spread across the country. And that is why SEBI came out with National Institute of Securities Market to ensure that there is a focused approach for the certification in the financial awareness. We have now Dr. Sarkhej-Krishnan, who is leading the team. Where is the journey? Where we started this journey, SEBI and NISM together? Earlier, we had only physical visits to small towns. There was no feedback. We had people coming, listening, going back. There was no use of technology too much. But within over a period of time, when the technology was available and NISM strengthened its team, we could able to reach to the corner of the country. And SEBI has more than 10 lakh approximate certification done in so many years, approximate numbers. What this certification means, NISM certification means that people who want to work in the securities market have the basic skill and education to perform. But then NISM has changed its gear. Okay, no, we now need to ensure that both soft skill for performing in the market as well as investor both has to be in the market. That's where this concept of NFLQ has been started. And from the last 5 years, we have seen that the kind of response it has created in the minds of the students, it's really mind-boggling. The kind of knowledge about the market, the kind of knowledge about the regulations, it's really fantastic. And I'm really happy that today I'm coming here and giving my, inaugural speech for this region. As a regulator, as a country, what initiative we are thinking of? Unless we have good capital investor base, and unless we have the good capital base, we cannot progress. At the same time, we don't have to run for the short money. For the last half an hour, I'm watching at the different videos over here. What we are trying to teach here? Very easy money is being shown to you. Very easy money. Don't fall to greed. Because SEBI as a regulator and NISM as a education initiative of SEBI as a capacity building of SEBI is doing a lot to ensure that investors have the right kind of knowledge in the market and they don't fall to the trap. Very recently, SEBI has taken many steps. SEBI has taken the step of, validating the UPI ID, which was never thought of. No regulator in the world has done this. That if you are dealing with any regulated entity and if you are making any payment to them, you can verify the account in which I am paying money. Is it right account? It's like, literally we can say that mother's feeding the child with a spoon. Why we need to do that? One reason may not be much awareness about the risk associated with the financial market and the greed. So my humble request to all the people will be that as and when you are getting into the financial market, kindly study well. Look at the market, what kind of risk is associated. If you continue to be the long-term investors, we all will grow together. But if you try to have a very easy money, then no one will grow. Today, India really needs a very huge amount of capital formation. We really need good amount of skill professionals in this market. Because if you look at the demat account number, you may say 25 crore and whatever. But really, how many people across the countries are investing? There is a lot of financial initiative taken by the government of India, SEBI, everyone. We have now even a mission with the Gram Panchayat of the countries where we are trying to create the awareness about the financial literacy. But you people are the real now messenger. You have come here today. You have seen what SEBI and NISM has been doing. You are able to interact with the SEBI officials. We have director sir, who is again a very senior from the industry. You are able to interact with them. It is not only we are doing the initiative like this. We are also trying to reach to the masses, but through the different master classes. On NISM website, if you look at, We have more than 10 to 15 master class conducted by our director, sir. What we are trying to do with this master class? This master class is a classical example of the journey of the people who have spent almost more than 20 to 30 years in the industry. And when you look at this journey, and if you just go through those videos, you will understand how this market has grown. Today, if these people have spent 30 years, they could also have made easy money. And they would have left this market just within 5 years. But this market needs consistency and longevity. And that behavior pattern has to be developed by everyone. I would really urge that all of you people go through that master class. Because when you go through the journey, you will understand that where this market was and where this market has reached. And with the development of our IFSCA and other global market, we are now getting opportunity to not only deal in the India, but also abroad also. Right now you have all sorts of protection over here. But when you will become a very literate and matured investor within the country, and you will now then move towards global market, then what kind of risk factor you need to go through that? What are the different rules and regulation and discipline you need to follow? That you need to do that. That will appear only when you really study well. The regulator is doing all its initiative in terms of resolving complaints. You have seen that if you want to resolve any complaint, there is a score mechanism. There is a lot of free courses available on NISM website, which will give you the basic understanding of all this basic concept of securities market. We have one very beautiful literacy course on ODR, online dispute resolution mechanism. Probably one of the best in its class in the world. But how many people are using that? It's because people are not having patience. SEBI, NISM jointly has been making continuous efforts to ensure that the market is well informed, well stabilized. The people who are coming in this market has the right knowledge. They are well aware of the complete risk in this market. At the same time, we are not only restricting the product available. Day by day, SEBI is coming out with many products. You need to be very aware about the feature of every new product. For that, you require thorough study. In order to understand this new product, again in NISM, we have very small courses available. Please ensure that you go through such courses, get the clarity about the concept, and then please take advantage of the various products available for your different needs. And at the same time, you become the messenger of the capital market. If you have rightly understood the market, if you meet any other person, correctly guide them. This market gives money only with the discipline. कहीं सुनी बातों से सुन के कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. कहीं सुनी बातों से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. हम we all are professionals. I am also a chartered accountant. You are MBA finance, law graduates, CFA. ये मार्केट सबको इवन आउट कर देता है. ये मार्केट सबको इवन आउट कर देता है. आप कोई भी ब्रोकर डीलर से काम करे, वो मार्केट गिरने के लिए 4 ब्रोकर आपको 4 रीजन देंगे. आज ट्रंप ने ये बोल दिया, मोदी जी वहां गए, मुंबई में बारिश हो गई, कुछ ना कुछ रीजंस. ऐसा नहीं होता है. हर मार्केट के फंडामेंटल्स होते हैं. हर इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोडक्ट का खुद का एक फंडामेंटल है. आप अपनी नीड्स देखिए. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ नीड्स यू हैव, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ रिस्क एपेटाइट यू हैव, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ फ्यूचर सेविंग्स यू नीड. क्योंकि अगर आप लोग अभी से कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन करेंगे तो ही कंट्री को पैसा मिलेगा. वी हैव टू चॉइस. 1.5 लाख आईफोन खरीदो या 1.5 लाख का इन्वेस्टमेंट करो. ठीक है, मैं भी आईफोन खरीद के लाया हूं. मैं अभी आई एम करेंगे आईफोन. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि डोंट बाय आईफोन. Amount what is invest in your own luxuries. At the same time, also invest money for your future, for the country. Because जब ups and downs आते हैं, that is the time when you come to know that what is the importance of saving. आज शायद 2020 का कोविड का पीरियड हम लोग ने सबने बहुत आराम से निकाल दिया. As a country, India didn't find any difficulty in running the show. Why it happened? Because the capital market was functioning throughout the year in the COVID. In the COVID period, if you see, कैपिटल मार्केट के ट्रांजेक्शन सब हुए थे. आईपीओ भी आए, म्यूचुअल फंड का भी डीलिंग हुआ, स्टॉक मार्केट का भी ट्रेडिंग चला, ऑक्शन भी हुए, सेटलमेंट भी हुए. एजीएम्स भी हुई, शायद फैक्ट्रीज बंद हो गई थी, जहां पर फिजिकल प्रोडक्शन हो रहा था, फिजिकल मार्केट बंद हो गई थी, बट सिक्योरिटीज मार्केट बंद नहीं हो गई थी. ये कैसे मुमकिन हुआ? Because the visionaries of the securities market had created a system over a period of time which is time tested. It worked smoothly in this 2020 and 2021. We were completely in the market that time. Whole of CBO was working from home. None of us were in office. Whole of NISM was doing all exams. Whole of NISM was doing all literacy conducting courses. And we all are 50 plus people today who are sitting in front of you. We could adopt the technology. So when you are in an area where you have the use of best technology, please use it for good decision making process. And ये मार्केट किसी को टाइम नहीं कर सकता है. कोई भी बोले नहीं नहीं ये मार्केट को मैंने कार लिया, नहीं हो सकता है. Please be careful about the market, invest wisely, study more, and when a regulator in the NISM is doing so much, please make the best use of it. I really congratulate the director sir and the NISM team for this wonderful initiative, because when you see the different students from the different colleges on the same platform, it creates a harmony. Every student from such different colleges have the same hunger to have the knowledge. And this capital market doesn't have only use in this financial market. If you see any company with any product, equally needs a professionals from the securities market. So more and more skilled got by you people will definitely make this market more developed. I really wish this NFL को success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I may please call upon our Director of NISM, Mr. Sashi Krishnan, for the keynote address for the audience, please. Thank you.
Morning and welcome to the NISM SEBI National Financial Literacy Quiz. First of all, I'd also like to thank Nirma University for allowing us to use their beautiful auditorium to conduct this quiz. And I'm sure all of you will enjoy what we have planned for the rest of the day. And I think one of the main reasons that we are very excited to bring you events like this is simply because I think financial literacy has now become a life skill, and everybody needs to sit back and understand his or her relationship with money. And I think our relationship with money is actually very, very complex. And if you all step back and try and evaluate our own personal relationship with money, our own personal relationship with finance, I think it'll give us a lot of food for thought. You will have quizzes like this that will come and tell you about a plethora of concepts. It will talk to you about financial planning. It will talk to you about risk return characteristics. It will talk to you about a whole set of things. But ultimately, it is for each one of us as individuals to determine what our relationship with money is. And why I tell you this is very important is because there are enough studies to show that each one of us spend almost 4.7 hours in a day, thinking about money. I think you people think possibly more about money than you spend in your classrooms, many of you hopefully. So it is very important for us to, evaluate what our relationship with money is. And believe me, as you go on in life, all of you will make decisions around money, whether it is investing money, whether it is spending money. And all those decisions will be simply determined by the lives that you have lived and by the exposure that you get. And one of the reasons that we are so, keen to expose you to, money and finance and help you determine your relationship with money is why we are, organizing a quiz like the National Financial Literacy Quiz. And believe me, it is true for you, it is true for me also. And I can, if I look back in life, I can very clearly see how my relationship with money was determined by the life that I lived. And, just to share, the journey that I had and my relationship with money. I come from a, literally conservative rural family from, central Kerala. And my father, way back in the 30s and the 40s, 1930s and 1940s. We still haven't gone to the, the next century. With great difficulty, managed to, educate himself, and he completed his master's. And believe me, in those days, it was, something that was, very, very difficult to attain because very little of India was actually educated. He got a little help from his elder brother and from his family, completed his master's. And like everybody's ambition in those days, the moment you complete your master's, and forget about those days, even ambition in these days, his ambition was to get a government job. And sometimes we always think that life hasn't changed very much because many of us in this room also actually aspire to get government jobs when we leave. And, Deepak and I fall into the same category because we still do government jobs. But unfortunately, there were very few government jobs also available in those days. And he was not able to, get through any of those competitive examinations, either to get into the civil services or wherever it is. So he did the next best thing. He became a teacher. And again, this is not to reflect on all the teachers who are here in this room. I know it's a great profession to be in. We may possibly don't pay you as much as you should be paid. And we hope that will change in course of time. But he did become a teacher. But unfortunately, given the fact that from the place he came and into the career that he went to, his relationship with money was very, very conservative. And that's what I wanted to come to. Believe me, in his entire life, the only place he put money would have been possibly in a post office recurring deposit and maybe a little bit in a fixed deposit in a bank. And, the only time he actually invested into a mutual fund, and if you tell people this today, they will laugh because I'm sure everyone sitting in this room would have at some point of time opened a demat account and, forget about investing in mutual funds. All of you must be trading in the derivatives market and losing money. But anyway, that's besides the point. But the idea was he only put money into recurring deposits, and the only time he actually put money into a mutual fund, I was telling you, was when I started managing a mutual fund for Unit Trust of India. And the only reason he did it was because I was the fund manager. So he says, my son is not going to lose money for me. I think that was a misplaced sort of confidence that he had in me. But for whatever it was worth, that's what he did. And therefore, all our dinner time conversations or conversations at any point of time, whenever it was around money, was all about how can you be, how can you keep your principles safe? How is it that you don't lose much money? And it was all around that. And unfortunately or fortunately, that shaped the way even I started looking at money. Because for a very, very long time, right through the 1980s and the 90s and maybe into the early 2000s, most of my money also would be invested into, fixed income securities. So possibly I would put my money into a PPF, or in those days we used to contribute a little more money into our employee provident fund. And if we did get, a little bit more adventurous, then maybe we would, try and look at putting some money into a fixed deposit or something like that. But that's as far as, our attitude towards risk goes. And maybe it took me a very, very long time for me to sit back and say that I need to reassess what my relationship with money was. Because there was nobody who would sit across the table and talk to us and tell us that, it is very important for you to reassess your relationship with money. And that's why we want to expose people to, understanding what their relationship with money is as early as they can, so that, they are able then to make the right choices in terms of where they want to sort of look at putting their money and creating wealth. And my own sense is that your investment attitudes are going to be shaped by the life you live, by the exposure that you get, and we would love to be part of that journey. But there is a problem today, and I think we all need to be cognizant of that. And the problem simply is that young adults, especially between the ages of 18 and 35 in today's India, and maybe across the world today, and they form a very key demographic dividend in India today, because, you are a population of almost 600 million people, and, you're going to be the future of this country. But almost 90% of those people in this cohort, which include you, actually do save money. They do actively invest. Around 60% of them actively invest. But most of them, when they do look to invest, where do they look for information? Where do they look for support? They look to the internet for support. And this is something that, this dependence on the internet for financial decision making, comes with its own unique set of problems, which I think it is important for all of us to sort of sit up and take cognizance of that. And it is in that context that I say that, quizzes like this, financial initiatives that we take both at SEBI and NISM, though we will use, the digital media to communicate with you, we also believe that these are very, very important, because this gives you real life experiences. And unfortunately, we as human beings are struggling with this information overload. And it is very difficult for us to find out what is right and what is wrong. And many, many people in this digital world will take advantage of that, to sort of part you from your well-earned money and influence the relationship that you have with money. And therefore, as young adults, it is time for you to think about saying that, how do I then balance the fact that I have access to information that I get in the digital medium, but I need to assess that information, so that my best interests are protected. And believe me, in this internet age, it is much easier to access information than, maybe 15, 20 years ago. But more importantly, it is much easier to transact in the markets also today, because, you have, the digital platforms today have made, the ability to access markets so very easy. And therefore, there is this tendency for us to think, try to think on the go, as we say, and put our money into maybe instruments that we shouldn't be putting into our money into. And there are studies that SEBI has done which seem to indicate that over 95% of the retail investors who put money into risky instruments like F&O tend to lose money. And therefore, I think it is very important that when you go back from sessions like this, you take back the message to most of the people that you, or if not all the people that you interact with, that it is very important for you to sit back and assess, how you should, approach investments and how you should approach the markets. And it is, I think, all that together that sort of prompts us to bring the National Financial Literacy Quiz to as many people that we can touch in this country. And believe me, across the country, if you look at from the beginning of the year till today, we at NISM have directly touched over 10 lakh people. And through our webinars and our master classes and our other digital initiatives, we would have touched another 35 lakh people. But I think that's the tip of the iceberg, because I told you that, the population we want to reach out to, this young cohort between 18 and 35 itself, is a 600 million strong cohort. And the only way we can do it is to co-opt each one of you in this room to be our messengers. And, just like we have the each one teach one kind of, concept that we are pushing in education today, I think in financial education today also, this is very, very important. And we all hope that when you go back from the National Financial Literacy Quiz, and as you keep increasing your own knowledge of, financial literacy, each one of you will take it upon yourself to at least teach one or two more people about the importance of understanding their relationship with money, and how they should be going about creating wealth for themselves and looking at the financial markets. See, so all the best. There will be some winners today, there will be some losers today, but we are very, very sure that if all of you take something back from this financial literacy quiz, I mean, India will become a significantly more financially literate country than it is today in the future. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, sir, for the beautiful message.